know she's crazy, but I only wanna be with you. You think I'm shady cause I'm out here trying to make some moves, but it ain't like that. Just know that I'll be right back. I give you all my time just to let you know you're mine. It ain't nothing, promise I'ma do it all to give you something. This love I got is only for you. You're my comfort, my future husband. I'ma give you all my heart, yeah, all of it, yeah. Baby, I know that I gotta come fix it. You the only nigga that I be missing. Swear I'm coming home to give you the business. Turn off my phone, it can leave me a message. I'ma just cover your body with kisses, kisses. Rub your body down, you know that I miss it, miss it.
Glasses in the air, toast to a higher power. Cause what you tuning into right now,
sit down,
it's Lito's Happy Hour. Lito's Happy Hour, this is where it's at. Raw and uncut, we giving real facts. Educating, entertaining all the people. And when it come to podcasts, it ain't nothing equal. Giving people knowledge they can put in action. All the way authentic, we ain't never capping. Exclusive interviews, cause we ain't never lacking. The other state is talking and we bout the action. Glasses in the air, toast to a higher power. This is Lito's Happy Hour.
Welcome to Happy Hour with Lito. I'm your host. I got a special one today. I got together with a few of my brothers, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about R&B today. You know what I'm saying? First, I got my guy, Grammy nominated, my man Emanny Music, you know what I'm saying? Coming out of Jersey. And then I got, you know what I mean? Like the legendary Anthony and Grady Harrell, you know what I'm saying? Formerly from Brother, the group. What's going on with y'all, man?
What's up, hey, Lito?
What's the word?
What up, Lito?
Man, nothing, bro. You already know. We're gonna get into
I hear you the host with the most, brother.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? I keep it real, bro.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Lito. Because we doing the R&B, that's what made you put the fedora?
Yeah, you know, I was trying to, you know.
I feel it. I respect it. I respect it.
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I done already talked to all of y'all before, right? But I always do this, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I care about my black men, you know what I'm saying? I always want to check on y'all first before we get into conversation. So I want to ask y'all, you know what I'm saying, 1 to 10, where y'all at today mentally on the mental health side? And then on top of that, give me a song, an R&B song that describes how you feel today.
I'll kick that off. Can I go first?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is the first time I had many meetings with my brother Lito. Every Thursday he has this meeting where a bunch of brothers get together and we talk about positive things, uplift each other, mental health. And that's the first thing the question he always asks is how you guys feel to 1 through 10. And normally everybody's like a 7, fluctuating 6, 7. I think I've been as high as an 8 before, but I've never been a 10 until today.
That's what's up. And what song would you say this talks about your mood today, bro?
Let me think about that. I'll let the other folks know.
Okay.
Go ahead, Emanny.
Oh man. I'm definitely not at a 10. My number is not low though. I'm in a very optimistic mood. I'm in a positive mood. There's some negative things going on around me, but it's not really phasing me.
Word.
So I'll say, 7.5, maybe, and then a song, it's so funny. The first song that comes to mind right now is Donny Hathaway's "Someday We'll All Be Free."
Word.
Woo. That right now, that's the first song that came to mind. That's where it's kind of where I'm personally at. Like I'm slowly reaching that point of freedom.
Word. That's what's up, bro.
All right. That's what's up, my brother. Yeah. I'd have to say I'm fumigating around a 7. It's peaks and valleys. It's learning to deal with the highs and the lows and not getting too high or low. And song that represents how I'm feeling today is "Stay Gold" by Stevie Wonder.
Stay gold. That's what's up. That's classic.
Yeah, and he just the good energy that you guys are embodying. We're talking about an era of music that means a lot to all of us, and all of us was young boys running around, believing and living an R&B dream. And in that song, he speaks of keeping that innocence and that youth, even when you get old and life knocks you around. So,
yeah, I
That's
love
what's up.
that.
And what you thinking?
It's one of my own songs, man, and I don't want to do like a shameless plug. It goes, I feel good, I feel great, I feel wonderful. I sent it to you, Lito, I think
Yeah.
like a couple months ago. That's
From
how.
What About Bob?
What about Bob? Yeah.
That's
For
dope.
sure. That's dope, bro. So I don't know whoever want to start, man. We're gonna get into like first, what are y'all working on? What do you do? You know what I'm saying? I know E got some shit coming.
Yeah, got a record out called Sideways right now. It's on all DSPs. Go check it out. Funny enough, I've been, still with the music, but I've been doing a lot of media as well. So right now I'm focusing on media, and not in the music aspect. It's more in, which is why I'm glad you asked that first question, because it's really along the lines of what I want to do in media space. I want to do things that are going to help people progress in life, mental health, get us right. A lot of us men, Black men especially, don't face traumas and are still blocked by blocking our own success because of our ego. And the biggest thing that I've tried to preach, I don't want to say preach, but pass down to other men is get away from your ego. It's probably the one thing that's held me back in certain areas. And finally, I've reached a point where I can let that go. So that's really my focus at this point, is passing on some knowledge and some wisdom to some younger generation who could utilize it.
You doing you podcasting?
I wouldn't say podcasting. I just think I just want to shoot whatever I shoot. If I do an interview, I post an interview. If I post a piece where I'm just talking, it'd be that. I think the one thing that's held me back in the past is boxing myself and telling myself I have to do this and label it this way and tell the world this is what it is, instead of me just doing some dope shit and putting it out and letting people digest it. Content is content. I don't have to label it. I'll let you label it. So
Word.
I'm just doing what feels good.
That's what's up, bro.
Like that. I'll let Ant go last. Me and my brothers disbanded in 2010, and that was the most beautiful creative era of my life. When I singing with my four brothers, there was a magic unlike any other. So when we disbanded, all of my brothers are creative geniuses. I just relish on the stage. Anthony's a studio rat. He's a creative. Jake and Papa and Jared, all incredible writers and producers. Me, I live on the stage. So fortunately, me and Anthony have been performing in the same band together for over a decade now. And each weekend, it sounds crazy, but I'm a full-on wedding singer. I gave the music industry nearly my whole life, and it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And I learned a lot from it. It was a blessing. It was one incredible ride. And now, at 46 years old, I show up to somebody's special day of love every Saturday night, my brother on my right, and perform live music. And I'm blessed enough to call that a job.
Great.
So,
word. That's what's up. And
yeah, man. That's pretty much what I was gonna say in a nutshell, that me and my brother do together. I mean, you know me, I'm always working on something musically. Right now, I'm working with an auntie of ours. Her name's Raquel. She goes by Rocky though. She lives overseas, and if there was anybody in our family who holds the musical torch, it'd be her. She's the one in our family that everybody respects. She was like she used to sing background for Diana Ross back in the day, and moved to Holland over 20 years ago to pursue a career, and got doing real good over there. So right now she's got me on board to do a project. And the good thing about the project is making not all, but certain one of my family members that have been distant now come around. Like me and Grady, we see each other every Saturday, and now I'm starting to see other family members that know me and my auntie are working, and they come around. So it's just a really great time in my life right now that I'm appreciating.
That's what's up. And y'all, so what's the nade? Is that the
nade is me and Grady. We used to have a duo back in the day in the 90s called Serenade. This was when Dr. Dre signed us, and then Dre renamed us the Nade. We put out a couple of albums independently, sold it out the trunk like Master P, and then that was it. But we haven't been the Nade in over 2 decades, huh, Grady?
Yeah, that's right. We signed to Aftermath in '95, and you couldn't tell us nothing with a good friend, a high school friend of ours named Jeff. And we were such big Boyz II Men fans that we studied every element of their harmonies. And Jeff had a real natural bass voice like Michael Bass McCary. So we nearly embodied their sound, and it was only 3 of us, and we sang for Dr. Dre, and he signed us. And man, we had Aftermath posters all over the crib. I mean, we was telling everybody we're coming out on Dr. Dre's compilation album. And right at the 11th hour, our song got cut from the lineup because Dre said the song was a bit too happy, too poppy. We were like the only young R&B boys on Aftermath, and we were heartbroken. And that's just one more lesson of the music industry that don't tell everybody you're coming out on the album until it comes out. Right. So me and Ant, exactly. So me and Ant went after that disappointment, we said, let's just do it ourselves. My brother is a phenomenal producer. So we wrote the album and came up with it, and we'll walk up to people. First album was self-titled. The second was called Music is Life.
This was before the internet.
We'd walk up to people and say, hey, you like good music? And bust into a harmony and sell them the CD for $10. So right. Yeah, that was real hitting the streets for real.
How you get into the industry, E?
Funny enough, my introduction to the industry was weird. I have to always give respects to hip hop, always. My first real introductions were through singing hooks on a bunch of rappers' songs. Like that was my thing. And before that, I thought I was gonna be the 6th member of Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like, I don't know why. Like, that was my favorite
Ohio
group.
Stand Up.
Yeah, it's my favorite group. I love them. So I tried to rap a little bit. That ain't work. I realized I was a much better singer. But yeah, just in the neighborhood, a bunch of guys, everybody wanted to be a rapper, singer, basketball player, something. And I just happened to be the guy on the block who could sing. And every rapper on the block was like, yo, can you sing on my song? Can you do this and this and that? And eventually that turned into me then working in the industry with a bunch of other rappers, Jadakiss, Rick Ross, Joe Budden, Jeezy, and, a bunch of people who would call on me to do these things that I had already perfected just in the neighborhood. Like, collaboration with rapper, easy. So my first introductions to the game was just through hip hop, even though I was still staying true to my R&B talents. So that's really my start, in all honesty.
Word, that's what's up. So I'm gonna ask y'all, for real, so how do y'all feel about people writing your song for you? Because in hip hop, that's frowned upon. You can't write for somebody, but it's different in R&B. How do y'all feel about, someone writing it and then you singing it? Anyone can start, whoever.
I'll start, I guess. I'm a writer, producer myself, and I'll tell you, I love it. I love working with other producers and singers and creatives. I have no problem with it whatsoever. As a matter of fact, if I'm writing a song by myself, which has happened before, and that I intend to write by myself, and somebody overhears me and throws me a good line, I'll be like, oh, that's fresh. I love it.
Word.
I agree. It's cool to be an R&B singer because it's always a collaborative effort. Brothers' 2 most successful songs, I Can't Hear the Music, featuring Fabulous, we co-wrote, all 5 of us, with the producer Elvis Williams and with Eric Sire and Fabulous. And that was a successful record for us. And then our most successful record was written by a guy named Pierre. It was called She's Gone. And that's our most viewed song on YouTube. So I think when that incredible, Quincy Jones says, you have a great song, then you leave the door open and let God in. If everybody is having a part of the creative process and you got something great, then it's beautiful. When Drizzy and Pusha got into it, and And Pusha said, how you gonna right my wrongs? You don't even write your songs. I mean,
I don't think anybody cares anymore, for real. Whether you write your own songs, nobody cares.
Well, and then Drizzy, Drizzy was like, Quentin and I collaborate. I mean, I was trying to help him. He was working at Kroger or Publix, and it was unfortunate because nobody's taken away from Drake's ability to write, but he was attacked because he collaborated on the R&B side. I think it's anybody, you got a line or something, you got something to add, as long as the song comes out great.
Go ahead, the song turns out great, right?
Right.
Yeah, that the whole method of I have to do this all on my own. There's no one in this industry that does every single thing their whole career on their own, without other influence, without other help. The great Prince even had records given to him that he would go ahead and collab, and so that's the one thing that I've never understood. I've never understood why people are so focused on waving the flag of, I write everything myself. It's cool. If you do that, great. But I can only imagine how much greater your projects or your music might sound if you would go outside of yourself and think about collaborating with the next person. So I love it. I love to work with other people. And there's been moments where I've had, projects ready. I've written most of the project, and then I might hear a couple of records from someone else. I'm like, all right, this one got to go because we're using this one.
Word.
To your point, E, you made a really good point, brother. Ego, getting out of your own way. I mean, to what you just said, sit down with somebody and say, hey, brother, help me with this. God forbid you ask somebody for help and they add their greatness to your situation. And nobody, it takes ego to say, hey, let's do this together,
I'm gonna find a very clever way to draw this whole R&B conversation back to ego. I'm gonna find it. I don't know how, but we gonna
it's gonna come back. Yeah.
Most definitely. All right, now let's talk about the state of R&B. I know we was talking earlier. We were saying like, well, I know this is how I feel. It's not, they don't want to love the women no more, man. And if you think about this also, the ladies of R&B are like taking over.
That part. Nothing wrong with that. Let's start off the conversation off with that. I think that I want to start off by saying that her and Jasmine Sullivan killing the game right now. Killing the game. And I love it. That's R&B right there. Jasmine Sullivan all day for me. And her.
I agree. And I'll quote Sean Stockman, one of my favorite singers in the world. He is a part of the best-selling R&B group of all time. And he went on his Instagram last month or so and said, fellas, what we doing? Money Long is talking about spoiling her man. I can do this for hours and hours. He said, where did we lose our place in spoiling and loving and pampering our women?
We stop doing it in real life.
The women are taking the position of the man and controlling the R&B narrative. He said, what we doing? The black men out there are artists. What are we doing? He said, Money Long is amazing, hours and hours. But he said, we lost our way. And this is coming from the man that sings Into the Road.
Yep.
E, how you feel?
I feel like everyone's point is correct. Sean's point is correct. Our view. I think there's so many different angles of looking at what went wrong. I think the women, those two women for sure, her, which, we all know as, Gabby Wilson from earlier years, Jasmine Sullivan, who we've seen work her way to this point. Two people who have been in this industry for so long, who had to work over the hurdles of finally now seeing their full success, only speaks to their genuineness to the craft and how much they understood the mission at hand, which was to preserve R&B, right? So on the male side, there's a lot of dope artists out there who do those type of records we're talking about. You have Kevin Ross, you have Luke James, you have Eric Bellinger does, you have a Lucky Day. You have people
Lucky Day
who do that, right? But I think R&B hit a point where, from the male perspective, we lost sight of the vulnerability because we hung our head high on, I don't want to blame Chris Brown for this, but we got to a point where we wanted more of that. We wanted more of the dancing, meshing of the rapping, and that's what we identified with. And sadly enough, it's not too many male R&B guys who can do that and do it well and keep up with it. So I think there's a lot of fault in that. I also think there's blame that the past generation before us has to take in some way. I think a lot of them didn't embrace a lot of the new guys the way they should have. So it was harder for a lot of us to come up and get noticed in a certain light. I noticed Tank does it a lot. He passes down a lot of gems and he always shouts us, but we need more of that. We need more of that from the RLs, from the baby faces, from, we need that because the industry will now respond once they start talking. Right now, it's like we have no outlets. Where do you go to hear the new R&B guy? I don't know. So.
That's a good point, E. Ant and I came up in the 90s when R&B not only was on the radio, on pop radio, but it was selling.
Flourishing.
Now, it was flourishing. I mean, when Blackstreet, Boyz II Men, and Jodeci, everybody had multi-platinum records. You turn on the radio and 80 to 90% of the radio was great. Now, unfortunately, and this hurts my heart, but R&B is just not playing on top 40 radio. It's not playing. Me and Anthony perform every weekend, and it's slim pickings when it comes to really good R&B that's on the top 40 of the pop chart. It just doesn't happen that often.
No.
Well, the sad part is, if you listen to top 40, a lot of those records are rooted in R&B by its core. So it's funny, you can listen to everyone else do what their version of R&B is and it be accepted. But then when it comes time to really get into R&B at its core, it's like, it's now niche. It's now like a novelty thing. It's like, nah, like this, like, yeah, like we still do this and there's still dope singers out here who would love your support on these records, but y'all ain't pushing it because it looks better on maybe Sam Smith or it looks better on, Adele or something. I don't know.
That's a whole.
Let me ask you three a question. What was the last diamond selling album? The last diamond selling R&B album.
Did Justin Timberlake
that might be
2020 go diamond?
That might be Usher.
What'd you say? That's right. In March of 2004, Confessions, Usher caught lightning in a bottle. R&B was number one on the pop chart. He kept his first 4 records on that album. Yeah, My Boo, Burn, and Confessions all went number one on the pop chart. But my brothers, that was 18 years ago.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
Times have changed. Yep.
It's to go back to the other point, that is 100% the truth, the case of where we're at. But if we search hard enough at music's core, R&B has influenced most of these pop records that end up being what they are. Most of these other artists who end up, Bruno's sound is heavily entrenched in R&B, but they will never give it. It's going to automatically get labeled as pop because it's Bruno.
Yeah.
Adele, Sam Smith, all these people who dibble and dabble with traditionally our sound get the luxury of utilizing it, but not having to deal with the backlash of being categorized as it. And that's another hurdle that we have to figure out how to get over.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all know this, but Justin Bieber, first of all, we sang at his wedding 4 years ago, but his last album that he put out was an actual R&B record, and he was mad at either the Grammys or one of the award shows for labeling the album a pop album. He's like, nah, man, like I had R&B writers write, R&B producers. So it's something going on with R&B where they kind of don't want to put it at the forefront. Like Justin Bieber had to go on Twitter and Instagram like, yo, this is an R&B album, and tell all the critics and everybody. So and he's like one of the biggest artists ever the past 20 years. So if he's pushing for his own music to be labeled R&B, there's a problem. There's a problem.
Have any of you guys seen the Elvis movie, the brand new one?
Not yet.
I just seen it, and Baz Luhrmann, he made it very clear that Elvis was influenced by gospel, rhythm, and blues. He literally left in the movie. They give so much props to Big Mama Thurman, to Little Richard, to James Brown, Jackie Wilson. They literally showed that the king of rock and roll, his heart and his music was steeped in gospel. He had Black background singers. He was a soul gospel singer and brought that to the forefront of pop music. And that was back then. So has it changed?
I wanted to say a smart comment, but I don't watch horror movies. Elvis, like Justin Timberlake, and Bieber, they've all had the luxury of being able to benefit and monetize a sound that, they might appreciate it. They might, might be something they studied and grew up around, whatever, but it's not you.
Right.
It's not you. At your core, it's not you. And along your journey, it might have became a part of you, but it's not you. And I am still at this place, and it might be very ignorant, but I'm still at a place where I can't support those guys before I start seeing the real guys of the genre start getting their burn.
Nice.
Not saying they're not talented, not saying that they don't deserve the success and the money, but me, I just can't. When I know that there's somebody behind that really is the originator of that, that we miss, that we don't even speak about.
Right.
And then you go ahead and benefit by getting labels of King of Rock and King of. I can't. I will not let the colonizers disrespect my genre. I'm sorry.
Word. That's what's up. Another thing that I was thinking of was like, we're like when I was younger, you would always hear songs written by Brian Michael Cox. Like, where he at? You know what I'm saying? Like, he was writing a lot of the hit records, bro.
Yeah.
Now I don't even hear his tag on nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a lot of hit records. Babyface, I think Babyface just wrote something for LMA. That song hard.
Yep.
LMA's another one. It
just performed at the BET Awards. Y'all see it last night, or was it the BET?
Yeah.
But her first album was first of all, her first album was crazy. Then she dropped this second one. It's crazy too.
Yeah.
But that's a part of, for me, the problem.
Yeah.
Passing down the torch. You know what I mean? And hip hop is good with that. You'll see people like Rick Ross, Jay-Z, whoever at the pinnacle of their career, instead of them being in this space of, I'm not putting nobody else on, they'll go grab the next rapper and give them that light, because they know that it's also an extension of their creativity and their longevity.
Right.
A lot of the guys, they don't pass that down. I don't know if it's a thing of they don't want someone else to come and fill that spot. I don't know if it's a matter of it's just not, like cool or something. But Smokey Robinson at his core, even with the Miracles, he was helping the Temptations. He was helping these guys because he understood this is not about me. This is about the sound. It's about the craft, and I need to pass this down because it can't just survive with just me.
Right.
It can't just survive with my generation. At some point, we're going to get old, and people are not going to really run to us for that anymore. So who's the next guy? I want to see, the legends, Brian McKnight, the baby faces, put someone on, like really put someone on. Like Babyface and LA Reid have done that. They've done that. They had LaFace, they did that. But there's a lot of other legends who you never see them tap back in and pour back into the younger groups. So that's been a problem for me.
And I'll add to that point. I'm sorry, Grady, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll go after you.
I'll be fast. I was just going to say, to add to that point, which is going to be my main point of the whole conversation, is there's room for all of us meaning R&B artists. Every type of singer. Nowadays, the generation has this thought, or really it's the industry has this thought that there has to just be one main guy of everything. And that's so retarded. It's just like there can be we can have room for everybody. Let's get out of our own way. Stop being so hateful to one another. Stop being scared to lose your spot. It's fear. It's nothing but stupid fear. We could all be in this shit together. We could all write together, pop together, be successful together. There's room for every R&B artist. That's just what I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad you brought up hip hop, E, because in talking about the lack of vulnerability, true love, loving our women, respecting our women, and those R&B themes flourishing and being successful, y'all got to remember, man, 50 came and changed the landscape in 2003 when he came within the club and he was on the cover with a bulletproof vest on and a bullet hole in the CD, and he sold 885,000 copies the first week and 815,000 the second week. He changed. I mean, that was we can all agree that with Dre behind him, that was the hardest album, and it was as successful as Confession. So it changed.
You saying 50 is the death of R&B? We got to talk. We got to holler.
But the aggression, like that aggressive, fully mastered Dr. Dre sound. Yeah. And I'm an R&B softie, but you can't tell me that everybody wasn't bumping in the club out of their whip.
Facts.
So I mean, the landscape changed.
From that point on, all them R&B groups, it's pretty much was it, right?
Man, I mean, bruh.
Yeah, R&B, especially in the male side, lost sense of balance as well. Because there's always been rough exterior. You know, Bobby had rough exterior.
Right.
You also turned on the album and you heard Roni. Homeboy Locked Up. You know, he had the nasty record.
You can say it.
But he also had the other joints. Yeah. You know, Babyface. He'll give you a little rough tone. And then he'll slap you with, and not just for himself, for women as well. So there's always been a balance. So I'm not even so much disappointed that men have taken on more of a rougher exterior in certain ways, but you got to balance it with some other shit. Like you ain't going to just bulletproof me in over the head every day. Like, which is why I can appreciate a Chris Brown at this point, even though he does so much more than R&B, but he does the rough stuff. But then if you listen to the album, he has the vulnerable moments. He has
the balance.
He has the balance.
He has that balance. Yep.
He's never let go of that. So he and a few others, I feel, embody that perfect balance, and we have to get back to that.
Yep.
I was just watching Breezy on Drink Champs, and Nori said, when you gonna do that versus with Usher? What do you guys think about that possibility?
I think it's
Usher versus Breezy in the ultimate versus battle.
That'd be crazy.
Woo!
I was born in '83, so the '90s kid will not allow me to ever say that Usher's going to lose that. I couldn't say that.
Me too.
Me and Ant was born in the '70s.
The records that he played, when they come on, I'm going to have personal attachment to it. I'm going to remember it.
Yeah.
Chris Brown, he's going to have 20 that's going to be amazing that maybe the other generation are attached to, but it'll be a great battle. I know that much.
Yeah, you make such a good point, E. There's just a generational gap. Breezy's 33, Usher's 10 or 11 years older. There's just a little bit of a disconnect in a decade of age difference, and the era when Usher came out with My Way in '97, he changed it then.
You know what'll make that age gap disappear? Records. Usher has records that people will just remember as soon as the motherfuckers come on.
I was going to say the deciding factor, and it's something that we just saw on the last verses, is going to be down to who can actually sing these records.
Good
Usher.
point, brother. Hold on. Good point.
Usher,
but see, versus not supposed to be about that, right?
No, it's not.
It's supposed to just be about who got the hits.
No.
It's supposed to be. I didn't think O was gonna lose, right?
Why wouldn't you?
Oh, my man. You know what I'm saying? I listen, I was like, yo, Mario might as well not show up, he might as well pack it in. He might as well don't even come. But I remember because I bought Mario's first album. You know what I mean? Everybody know, like Chick with the Braids and all that he was singing, like that. Classics. I bought his first album, but I was just like, yo, Mario won just because he was better vocally. Nobody knew half them songs he was singing.
No. This is the problem with R&B niggas today.
Talk your shit.
Not just about the vocal aspect. It's about the swagger. It's about the calm. It's about the poise. It's about just the full on stage showmanship that he exhibited at that moment. First off, Omarion, you have great records.
Right.
You've been in this game 20 plus. You're always going to get your respect. The things that you did on that stage, we've seen you do before. So it's not shocking. We know you can dance. We know you can, cool. But now you're in competition mode. What are you going to bring to the table that is going to differ from anything we've seen before? Mario, I've been to a Mario show. I've never seen Mario get like that. I've never seen him talk. I've never seen him have to show like, yo, listen, he's always humble, always cool, very chill, but he'll let you know I'm an artist and I can really do this. And he took it to a next level of, yo, you know, you're really not supposed to be standing on stage with me.
Right.
You left Earth.
Right.
Like, I give you grace because you have the records and you can move. Maybe you should be battling another dancer. When it comes to this R&B shit and there's women in this crowd who R&B niggas, a lot of reason why a lot of R&B niggas today don't understand where to take their next level of R&B-ism, if we're gonna call it that. Women want to fuck the guy that they see on that stage. That's, even if you're not attractive, even if you're not the most appealing, the minute you get on that stage and you start doing certain shit, they automatically are attracted. And Mario understood that without the singing, just the
seize the moment. Yeah,
he's the moment, and a lot of niggas lost that.
He left Earth. I can't front. He was
hey, y'all. It's interesting because in Omarion's defense, I agree with everything you just said, E. Omarion, when he first met Chris Stokes, I love this story. He said he saw him at a talent show, and he said, "I'm not even a singer. I can't sing." He said that to Chris Stokes, and Chris Stokes said, "Don't worry about it. We'll get to that. You're great looking. You're a great dancer." So for not being a traditional singer, and you made a great point, E. Mario's like, "Bruh, I do this." Like Omarion has a lot of records for a guy who's not a traditional singer, but great vocals always win.
Always.
So, Omarion's a phenomenal entertainer. He's got bops, but when Mario opened his mouth, and when you came on Instagram after, you're like, man, Mario, he has the whole internet clowning Omarion because his voice is so incredible. He can blow, and that never gets old.
Yeah.
The same thing that you said, E. Me and my wife is in here now. Me and my wife was talking about he needed to be up against another dancer. You know what I'm saying? Because Mario started singing, and then Mario, he wanted smoke with everybody. He wanted smoke with Tank.
For real.
I couldn't believe that. He wanted smoke with Tank.
Where that comes from is, I'm pretty sure he's aware of things. You read comments. You when you're self-aware of your positioning and how the landscape is judging and looking at you, I'm pretty sure he was aware that a lot of people did not understand why he was there. I heard the rumblings. Omarion against Mario, that's not even fair. And a lot of
what Joe said.
A lot of people were thinking, yo, what is the purpose? And he heard that. And he walked into there knowing that, oh, this ain't even about me just showing them, I can beat him. This is about me showing the rest of the world, like, yo, I do this. Like, when I got signed, I didn't get signed because I had some other shit that appealed. I got signed because I was a vocalist.
Right.
And that was it. They didn't slap records on me. They decided to pen records based around my talent. And there's a difference. So an Omarion who can perform and do all that, you give him any record and it might work. Like, be able to pull it off.
That's what I loved about the whole verses. That's what I loved about what actually Mario did in particular, is let the whole industry know us quiet R&B niggas are still here, nigga. Don't get it twisted.
And since Omarion brought Tank out to help him, I heard a couple of whispers about Tank versus Joe. What y'all think about that?
I love it.
Joe
don't want no. Listen.
Nigga, what?
I love it. I love it.
Nigga, he don't want it with Joe. Never.
Tank don't want it with Joe.
Joe is the best. That's my man.
Man, I mean, the reason I say it'd be different because Tank was like, he posted, He said, you let them young boys go, it got a bit chaotic. But if you're going to elder statesman R&B, class, elegance, respect, humility, it's not going to be no talking crazy, no cussing each other out, no talking over each other. They show a modicum of respect. But Joe is a monster. I mean, vocally,
I know
he's got a couple of #1 pop hits. Did y'all know that?
So Joe has a very underrated catalog. People forget for the record.
Yes.
I think his catalog, as far as the hits, his hits, not hits that Tank has wrote as well, his hits matches up very well against a Tank. His stage performance, his vocals. I don't think he's not gonna come there and play neither. Tank he's gonna show out. So I think that's the best one. There was another one that I had thought of, and I was like, you know what? I would love to see this because I think this would go under the radar. I would love to see Brian McKnight versus Maxwell.
Ooh. That would be fire.
And I think most of today, I think the guy that they think would win would not win.
So you think that Brian McKnight would win? I knew you were going to say that, bro.
I agree. And what do you think? Okay, let me ask you Kings this. I'm sure you'll all agree. If he didn't go away for life, could anybody get with Kales? Could anybody stand against him?
No.
Absolutely not. Fuck no.
No.
Nobody could even step on stage with that man.
Hey, he don't even dance, my nigga.
Yeah. Hey, he is the soundtrack to all of our lives. Nobody could even stay in the same arena.
Let me tell y'all niggas, I'm petty. So do me a favor. Get that nigga no money. Go take you a mic in that goddamn cell, and let's still hook it up. I don't care.
Hey, can we do that at the bare minimum, please?
If he gonna give us something, if he gonna do some type of punishment, or cool, do your punishment. But let me get a little verse.
Hey, we get to the penitentiary. I'm gonna say, Emanny, and Lito, and Grady are here to visit. Can we go visit him?
It's so funny because I had this conversation. Anytime that his name is mentioned, I always just say the nigga locked up because I don't want to really put too much grace on his name because he's disgraced that. So but the music, you can never take away the music. The music is what it is. A lot of people say you can't, if you listen to that, you're kind of supporting, but he has a lot of other records that he has done outside of himself that people still listen to support. If that's the case, you got to stop listening to You Are Not Alone. You got to stop listening to Aaliyah's first album. You got to stop.
Believe I Can Fly.
So if we can't be selective, or you can be, that's your right to be whatever you want to be. But for me, I separate.
Yeah, me too.
That man, you nasty, keep your ass where you at. I never want to see you again. I never want to hear another record you do again. But records that we've had in place, it is what it is. It's had its effect.
Right now, if I play Happy People right now, everybody start dancing.
Yeah, bro. Y'all think that's not playing at my wedding?
Me and Grady have been specifically in the past 2 years. There've been several weddings. Well, let's just say the past year where like the band leaders have been kind of scared to call some R. Kelly. They'll whisper in the mic like, "Yo, should we do Ignition?" And Grady will be like, "Hell yeah!" And we'll do it. Yo, another thing. How does it start, Grady? And they'll turn around.
Usually I don't do this, but go ahead on and break them off a little previews of the remix.
And everybody be singing that shit.
Hey, bro. I mean, I know you're a father of 5. I'm a father. E, you got kids?
Yes.
Lito?
Not yet.
All right, we'll put good energy out for you, brother. But all of us are R&B guys to our heart. Now, R. Kelly's got to stand up and be judged like we all get judged on Judgment Day. None of us condone what he did. The man is very likely going to spend the rest of his life in jail for the disgusting crimes that he committed. But he did create some great music, and it's not our job to judge the man. He is, in most people's opinions, getting what he deserved. Would I drop my daughter off at the studio with him? No.
a lot of our worldly creations were created by some very disturbed geniuses, if you want to call them, whatever you want to.
Right.
And you know, it's sad to say that, but we've been built off of a society that, you know, mentally is sick in the head, and we have to acknowledge that, and also, you know, be sensitive to the people who are affected by that. But if we strip, you know, singular arts from people, then we have to start going down the line of every single piece of art that has been created by someone of demonic thought.
Yeah.
We do that, we gonna be a pretty boring society.
Right.
I hate to say it.
No,
yes.
it's true, man.
It is what it is.
Absolutely true. Yeah, I don't believe in I'll make a add a quick point to that. I don't believe in stripping anybody of their creativeness, no matter where it comes from. Some of the best stuff comes from real dark places. Me specifically, and I don't mean touching kids, that's out of control. I'm talking about, I created a song called Alcoholic, right? And this was about 8 years ago when I was at my worst drinking, and I actually woke up to this song and was about to erase it. The song called Alcoholic I did, y'all can look it up on YouTube. And I hadn't saved it yet because I fell asleep drunk, and I listened to it and I was like, yo, I sound crazy. I actually sound like a demon. And I was like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna just, not only did I save it, I shot a video to it. It's so scary because it scares my mom to this day. She says it just reminds her of like Thriller by Michael Jackson. She's like, don't play that. But I'm glad I captured the moment because the song is a great it's creatively, it's dope. So no, I don't believe in erasing anything somebody does creatively just because they're in a dark place. I don't believe that.
I actually saw that video. I think it was when we first, you know, did our first pod, and I looked at it and I was like, bro, what's going on? Like, I could tell you was going through something. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's something that you can look back today and be like, yo, I'm no longer that man.
Exactly. Right. That part. Yes.
That's why it's good not to erase stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It reminds you of where you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Right. Growth, elevation.
Word. For sure. What's your go-to, like, you know, when you're with your lady, if it's not your song, right? You with your lady, you wanna get the mood right. What's your go-to song?
All Joe's music.
Yo, listen, man. We're gonna talk about this.
Go out as Joe.
We're gonna talk about this Joe, bro. Because listen, Joe's not gonna win. He's not gonna beat Tank. I don't know what. Listen,
easy.
I ain't gonna lie, Lito. You might got Joe fucked up.
Yeah, I would have to.
Hey, I'm telling you, Joe is. Hey, let me tell you something, Lito. Joe is a singer. Tank is scared of Joe. Trust and believe. So? Yeah, absolutely,
bruh.
Absolutely. Hey, not even the runs. My nigga got tone is unfuckwittable.
And I mean, just think about this. Joe, I want to know, I'll just name a couple. I want to know, stutter, don't want to be a player, all the things your man won't do.
Now, I used to sing that song.
All that I am.
All that I am. I mean, come on, man. I mean, and he got that Thank God I Found You with Mariah Carey. That went #1. So, I mean, and I love Tank. Yep. Tank is a good friend of mine. He was a big brother supporter. But Tank, standing next to Joe Thomas, I mean, and Tank, I got to give him so much props because he is an R&B soldier. And when we ended up being his most successful record in 2017, #1 R&B record, platinum. But standing against that boy JT,
bro, you right.
It's different.
The thing about it is that today, Tank will be able to wave the flag of today. He's way more relevant than Joe is today to this today crowd. Mm-hmm. The only problem is that when you set that show up, you're going to get more of the past generation crowd in that building.
Right.
So even though you have these newer records and you have these new influences, you did the Omarion Entourage, you wrote, Naked, Marcus Hughes, like you've written some great records that you can sing and perform. But when you start going into that Joe catalog and that crowd that remembers the moments they heard those records,
yes,
it's different. And then when you get the guy up there who's not just singing the record just as good as the album, but they're sounding better,
man.
Bruh, to your point, E. To your point, when Omarion performed "Supposed to Be," when he came on, he said, "This is 4 times platinum." You realize, man, that's a big record. and then Mario looked like, and then he starts singing "Let Me Love You." He opened his mouth and started singing that. It was like, so Tank is a singer, but Joe, Tank was, people could say he was raised on Joe. Joe came out in '93. Remember that Everything album?
Do I, nigga?
Bruh, so when Joe opens his mouth, it's gonna be a problem.
Sean Stockman is from
Boyz II Men.
Right. And I remember Tank was saying that he's from that cloth, like Sean Stockman. But let me ask y'all, like, who would y'all want to see Trey against if Trey Songz got on that stage?
Who?
Good question.
Trey Songz.
Good question.
Cause he's good on, like, I've seen him perform. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's good live.
You know what's funny? I feel like Trey, because I like Trey's music. I think Trey is in a weird space, right? Because Trey is not old enough to go against some of the older guys.
Right.
And he's not new enough to go against some of the newer guys. I feel like Trey was like one of the last real male machismo R&B dudes, and was tailored to that. Like, he never steered far away from an R&B brand.
Right.
Everyone else was starting to go alternative. Like, Miguel started off very R&B, but then went alternative a little bit. And you know, I don't know. Trey is weird. Yeah. Trey's in a weird spot. I really don't know who I want to put against Trey.
He got a situation going on right now too.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not
situations.
Yeah.
But another great male R&B artist that I don't know. So it's a weird space for me with Trey.
It is interesting. And well, I'll go right to the top. And this is all speculation because they're both gone. But what do y'all think if MJ went against Prince?
Y'all don't get me started.
Listen.
We'll just go right to the top.
I keep it real. I think. You
know what? If you say Prince, let me tell you. Ooh, somebody gonna cut me off. I know somebody gonna cut me off, but it's cool. It's cool. Prince is Prince. He is that. He, as a musician, he to me is probably the greatest musician, right? Let's talk about just overall artistry, right? Michael does not get a lot of credit for his overall artistry. I know a lot of times we put him in the seat of great entertainer, whatever, right? Michael was also a great vocalist. I don't think people understand his vocal technique, the things he did. It ain't that easy. It ain't just as simple as having a nice high-pitched voice.
I know.
Right.
Very, very clean. Also wrote a lot of his records. He doesn't get a lot of credit for that. He also produced, like, he's an overall artist, not just some guy that you just put on stage and just perform. And for the albums that we consider to be the Mike albums, like those 3 or 4 that are like we hold near and dear, ain't too much filler.
Ain't no fillers. From Off the Wall to Thriller to Bad, ain't no stinkers on none of it.
Hey, when you have songs, I'm sorry, I gotta come in and say this.
It ain't filler.
Michael Jackson against Prince. When you have so many hit songs, at the end of the day, nothing beats hit records. I'm sorry. Mike would have to come up there and sound like shit to lose against Prince because he just has so many hit records, just too many.
From childhood.
Record after record after record.
But from childhood. Get up there with his guitar.
No. Lito, are you remembering Michael starts and begins at ABC?
No, I know.
He starts.
I want you back. I want you back.
Leave me alone.
Bruh.
I'm bad.
He starts from he covers every generation. You know who's like that? The Isleys. The Isleys are like that.
Yeah.
Ohio stand up, baby.
Yeah.
They cover every generation. Damn near to this point, they cover every generation. They have a hit.
That's a fact.
Every generation.
I play that was one of the best
all the time, bro. That's like one of my favorite songs.
That was one of the best verses. Earth, Wind, and Fire versus Isleys. That was lit.
Yeah, I love that. That was off the hook.
Yeah,
they came out there like some true musicians, true players. Like it did they thing.
Absolutely.
Just to answer your question, I think Michael gets Prince the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. I think he moonwalking.
Agreed.
He moonwalking all over that stage. Ain't enough guitar being played that night to fuck with Michael that night.
Right. Hey, I'll give an interesting story, and you know where I'm going. Back in 2003, good friend of ours that sings in the group All for One, Jamie Jones, he took us. He said, "I'm taking y'all to go sing at Michael Jackson's birthday party," and we said, "What?" Jamie Jones, man, he's such a great guy, talented guy, beautiful person. He not only took us to Stevie Wonder's house to meet Stevie, but he took us to the Orpheum Theater with Brian McKnight and Silas White to sing at Michael Jackson's 45th birthday party. So, bruh, we're on stage with all of these actors and singers, and everybody's singing a specialized version of We Are the World to Michael. He's standing there on stage, bro. I'm like, I can't believe this. So me and my brothers have our own mic. We sing the second verse, and my brother Ant does this unbelievable run on the second verse of We Are the World. And Mike actually reacted. He shook his head like this and clapped his hands. My brother did. Ant, you was going for it that day, brother. So after we sing him this, they made him this 10-foot cake. We sing him We Are the World. I said, I got to go touch him. I got to get next to the king. So I went directly to him. I put my hand out and I said, I love you with all my heart. And he said, I love you too. And I cried like a little girl. True story.
Yo, I think so. I'm like trying to multitask, and I see Amanda said, Mike is a great performer. He would never outsing Prince. Listen, don't get me wrong. Prince vocally is, he's that. But Mike ain't chunk. When it comes to them vocals, Mike.
Hey, I dare anybody, any vocalist that think that Michael Jackson isn't that nigga vocally, go try to sing 2 songs. Sing Beat It in the original key and sing the End of Earth song.
Woo! Hey, yo,
yeah,
the End of Earth song.
Congratulations.
That's hard to do.
Bro, he wasn't punching. That was 64 bars of
nigga,
him.
I got the acapella. I got the acapella.
Hey, and we talking about chest voice, full on,
full voice,
with character.
Yes,
bro, emotion,
grit.
Hey, all the way to What About Abraham?
Go check those 2 things out and try to do it vocally. I'm talking about all the best vocalists. It's nigga, dude.
It's I know people hear things and don't, like I said, Prince is that guy, and he's never going to be belittled by anyone.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's I think Michael never felt the need to hang his head on, hey guys, I'm also the great vocalist, I'm also a great writer, and this and this and that. He hung his head on, when you come to get the show, you're gonna get the show. And that's my selling point. Prince's selling point was, when it comes to this musicianship, y'all know I am the Bible for that.
Right.
And in all honesty, we shouldn't be comparing the two, but it's almost a mismatch, honestly. It's literally gonna boil down to what's your taste, what's your preference.
Yeah.
Do you want the performance aspect? And even Prince was a great performer.
Yeah.
So what do you want more of?
Yeah.
Facts. Prince was the only dude that I knew that could put on some pants with his ass out, and nobody think he was gay.
I know.
Right.
Period.
Hey, flip it on the other side, and Whitney versus Mariah, and
Whitney.
Ain't nobody fucking
Whitney.
Whitney. Come on now.
It's not even a compare.
Not even
Mariah.
Close. I love Mariah, but it's not even close.
Love Mariah, but
vocally and the raw emotion and all that, you're not getting no better than Whitney.
Yeah, period.
On the record, for the record, I should say Whitney is the best vocalist that's ever blessed this earth, in my opinion. Whitney Houston, male or female.
Woo!
On the record,
or female,
male or
talk
female.
That talk.
And then he walks off.
Hey, because I don't want to smoke on camera. Give me like 30 seconds.
You know what's so funny? I wanted to draw it back because we kind of skipped over, and I want to diss these niggas real quick.
No, I know we gonna. I want
to draw back to the verse. Let me take that back. I don't want to diss nobody, but I do think I do think we need to speak about that very first half of
Yes,
that.
we do. I was circling back. We wasn't gonna leave it. I was circling back.
Please.
Ray J, Bobby V, Sammy, and Pleasure P.
I'll tell you, when they first came on, my wife, she really likes Sammy. She likes this nigga, I guess. Like, I guess she grew up on his music. She was drooling over this nigga, but I really liked Sammy and Pleasure P. Like, even though they was in LA, them niggas look hella comfortable. They look like they was in Atlanta or something. I enjoyed them doing their hits. And you know, the Ray J shit, he's Ray J. So
Answer me this. Why is Ray J Ray J is Brandy's brother? Why is he had one song really that was really good, which was one.
No.
Let's keep it real.
No. I ain't gonna let you do right now.
Listen.
He ain't good vocally, but he has had some really dope records, right?
he has.
Yes.
Many.
He has some dope records, and I'm not mad at him being up there for the the little beginning joint.
Yeah.
I'm really just mad at them either not taking that event serious enough or getting out of character. Now, I do think the only person up there that was actually their character is Ray J. And he was very comfortable because he was home. Outside of him just not sounding good. Pleasure P and Bobby Valentino was on the calmer side. Like, I think he really wanted to try to keep some level of R&B in it, but I've just never found him to be that vocally compelling.
Yeah.
So I wasn't looking for that from him. Sammy, I always thought had a good voice. I've been in performance spaces with Sammy, and I've seen him be very calm, very mature, very chill. So it threw me off to see him acting that way a little bit. But I don't know him as a person, so that might really be more him than anything. It just felt like the character of what the event was supposed to be about was off. Like, it's R&B. I don't need jobs screaming over each other. I don't need. First off, let's just get one thing clear. All four of y'all should be happy to be here.
Right.
Because we don't really need you here.
Yeah.
In totality of the
and that's the thing. Like, even though I'm glad you just said that, E, because even though they did open up for Mario and Omarion, they played a small part. They could have seized the moment. You know what I mean? Like, whether it was 10, 15 minutes, 3 songs, whatever that was, they could have took some time, rehearsed, and really seized the moment and made that moment special. But nobody really did. You know what I mean?
I remember
out of those 4 artists.
I remember coming up and opening up for certain acts, and one of the smartest things someone told me, and I can't remember who told me, I should remember, but they told me, when you're opening up for someone that the crowd is really there to see, even if you're an add-on and you have your people in there, the worst thing you can do is try to overshadow the actual event. What you can do is make a great impression for the time that you have there and get off that stage and be missed.
Right.
So at a certain point, I'm watching it and I'm like, even if this was good, this lasted about damn near 2 hours, 3. I don't miss any of this. I'm not gonna when
Uh-oh.
Lost you, E.
Shit.
When you get off the stage, I'm gonna be, it should be the around.
There you go. You back.
Okay, yeah, I like in those situations, I want to miss you. I don't want to feel happy that you left the stage.
Yeah.
Hey, to that point, E, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Anthony and I grew up with Ray J and Brandy. I mean, I couldn't help but think, I mean, his sister is considered the R&B vocal Bible.
There's Whitney and then there's Brandy.
Exactly.
There it is. There
it is. So as B Rocka, I'm very proud to say on her first album, on the dedicated interlude, she, after listing a bunch of greats, they asked her who inspired her to sing. She mentioned, I don't know if you knew this, Lito, she mentioned me and my brother Anthony. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Go back and listen to Dedicated, the interlude. She says, Anthony, Grady, Little Grady, Terry. That's me, that man right there, and my father. So I know the pedigree of the Norwood talent. So I couldn't help but think about how does B Rocka feel right now? Because she aspires to vocal perfection.
Brandy definitely has a big chapter in the vocal Bible.
100%.
She is like, there's her, there's Jasmine Sullivan, there's a whole group of women vocalists. Brandy, I say what I say, but Brandy is my favorite vocalist. To her and Tony Braxton for tone, like I love their tone.
Absolutely.
I just love their tone.
Tony Braxton is a beast.
So I don't know. I don't know if maybe I really don't know what went wrong with Ray J. I don't know. I don't know if it's literally just a matter of, I don't ever think he's been like a major vocalist, but I do think he has enough skill and he has enough knowledge to know like that wasn't it. And, you know, everyone has a bad night. I ain't gonna hold it against Ray J. He's a dude, successful. He's gotten out of the shadow of being Brandy's brother.
Long time ago.
So,
you know what it was? And I felt bad for the brother. I got love for him. But Anthony and I perform every single weekend. We work hard to keep our chops polished. So it just seemed obvious to me that he hasn't been performing. He hasn't been out there on the road. He's got Raycon Global. He's got a lot of successful business ventures. He hasn't been on that stage. And you gotta
Hey, it's clear to me that Mario has.
Exactly. Goodness gracious. Hey, Mario was singing circles around everybody that night. It wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close.
Yeah, Mario was kind of pissing me off. Yeah, but whatever. Whatever. He was kind of pissing me off. You know, I'm up there. My wife was saying certain things. I'm like, that nigga. She was like, nah, he's killing O. I'm like, nah. But nah, you know what?
Hey.
Oh, he just didn't.
Omarion didn't win one round.
Now hold on now. Not one round?
Nope.
Nah.
Nope.
Nah. I mean, come on, man. How you gonna? There's no substitute for real singing.
One round?
Listen, Jadakiss and Mario are responsible for changing the landscape of verses. It's no longer about the song that you play. It's about the delivery.
It's about performance. Yep.
It's about, if it's literally just about the songs you play, you can go right back on Instagram Live, by yourselves in your own rooms, play your songs, and that's it. And then let the fans judge. But now that we've given you a stage, you got to come with the whole stage aspect of this shit. And that's what's disappointing about like Ray J, like you come from that cloth. You know what that stage is about. If anybody on that stage has that experience and that know-how, you have it. So you should have been a little bit more on your toes.
In my opinion, his only mistake, in my opinion, was not lip syncing One Wish. Because if you notice, when he first came out, he brought the dancers out. He tried to make it a show. And then I was enjoying it at first. And I was like, let me see if he's going to sing One Wish. I thought he was going to lip sync. He tried to really sing. That's where he messed up. He wasn't prepared.
Okay, can we just say it? Can we just say it? Fuck it, I'll say it.
Say it.
What?
These niggas can't sing. I'll say it. Fuck it. Listen, and I don't got no beef for nobody. I respect all their craft. I respect what they've done in the industry. But let's just call a spade a spade. Niggas can't sing. Niggas might be able to hold a note. Niggas might be able to do something here and there. But in the aspect of what we asking for them to do, and when we see a guy like Mario, Tank, and all these other guys get up there and sing, they can't do that.
Right.
Sammy, I've seen Sammy like do his thing before, so I was a little surprised. I think his energy was just a little too high, so it took away from his vocal.
Sammy a thug now. That's shit.
Yeah, but in all respects, Jeremiah, what are you doing?
Hey, I was disappointed.
Did we not even talk about that horrific thing that I heard?
He had to be on something, bro.
Yeah, but this is my point. These are the people that get championed by the generation before us to carry the torch of R&B. And then when you get on this platform to represent R&B, you can't deliver. And now we have to now look towards guys from back then to keep us alive. Why? Why can't we put y'all up there to represent us? Just fuck the hits aspect, just vocally.
Let me interject in that right to your point, E. You're right on point. I am an R&B aficionado. I'm a connoisseur. I just saw Silk Sonic live this year at their residency. And I just saw Usher last year at his residency, and bruh, nothing ever replaces true vocals and true performance value and authenticity. You would have thought with Bruno and Anderson, it was like the Shy Lights or the OJs. So they literally just took it back to the Soul Train days of the 70s. They were in old school outfits, singing, stepping, and it was an R&B show. But like you said, it's pop because it's Bruno. And I just couldn't believe it. It was like they had two other brothers with them, and they were doing old school steps like Four Tops, Temptations. And that album, An Evening with Silk Sonic, it's wildly successful. It's an R&B record hosted by Bootsy Collins. Usher, he was so incredible top to bottom. Wardrobe changes, background singers, dancers. His voice was so strong and pure. Passion, choreography.
Roller skating.
I mean, it was.
Oh, he does.
Roller skating.
Yeah.
Production value. It was the closest thing to Michael Jackson for 2 hours of hits. I'm like, Usher is still the man from top to bottom. No weaknesses in the show. So to your point, E, you have to deliver. If you're on that stage, if you're on that microphone, if you're on that platform, you have to deliver.
The guys who are the representation of R&B today are not children of R&B, and that's really
Good
what
point.
They're not connoisseurs of the art. If you ask them, give you some Al Green, give them some Marvin, they can't give you nothing. If this, it's just the genre. No, but it is where we're at, and it's not to say that they're not talented. They have talent, and they should have a place in music. It just should not be labeled R&B. It should just not be labeled R&B singers, entertainers, artists, whatever you want to call it. Jeremiah is a dope artist, no doubt. He makes some dope songs. Maybe has a great show. I've never seen a show, but maybe he has a great show. He just should not be the guy that you pulling out for the R&B night when you're looking for singing. That's okay. If I call myself a singer, please do not book me on the nights where you got Chris, Amarion, and the rest of these niggas dancing around. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
I just know my place, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong.
Well, Chris can sing though. No.
Chris can sing.
He can't sing a little bit. Listen,
he can sing.
I sing better than Jeremiah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't have no vocal coaches or nothing.
I didn't step out of screen out of disrespect to Chris. I just had to do
something.
No,
you had to get something. I understand.
I mean, he's no Bruno, but he can sing. Bruno is special. Vocally,
for sure.
Just sheer vocals. He's a unicorn, bro. I mean, he's preserved his instrument to where he sings higher than any man I know and stays up there, and has the virtuosity and the performance value of a strong vocalist. Phenomenal.
Live.
So live and doesn't miss. I mean, doesn't miss.
Hey, I'm glad you said that, Grady. He doesn't miss. As a singer, you're only as good as your last time you sung live. If you get on the microphone and you're known as a great singer and you get up there, especially on a verses, and you suck, then that ain't it. The people gonna think that you suck for real because you ain't taking your craft serious.
Hey, fellas, can I ask this question? So outside of just the verses, like right after that, you get BET Awards and you get Giveon up there, and he has a mishap, right? I don't know if y'all guys heard that, but
I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
So what threw me off is I'm not mad at the mishap because I feel like I know what the mishap was.
Mm-hmm.
My only problem was his introduction before his performance. Taraji went up there and gave him like a really great introduction. She damn near called him one of the new representations, new voices of this generation.
Mm-hmm.
And this is honestly my first time seeing him sing live. I've never seen him sing live anything. Heard records, it was like, oh, he has a very unique tone, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard none of that.
Nope.
Like I heard none of it. And I don't know if maybe he had auto-tune on his mic. I don't know if maybe the mic got messed up or something went wrong.
Nothing wrong with that nigga's mic. He kept talking about he couldn't hear himself in his ear.
Well, I know there's a new trend of R&B singers when your album is heavily compressed. and knowing that your live stage performance is not going to translate, they're now going ahead and automating that to your mic. So I'm not sure if maybe that was the case. He has some automation to the mic. At some point, maybe the automation went wrong, and now I don't know. But
you know what? Speaking of Giveon, there's a lot of pressure when you come out on a smash record like Peaches. Like Justin Bieber gave him and Daniel Caesar an audience they wouldn't have had otherwise. Yeah. So people get a #1 worldwide record on a big pop artist. Now everybody's looking and listening like, oh, he's going to be sounding phenomenal. Oh, he doesn't. Uh-oh. A lot of pressure.
Damn. That's crazy. Listen, this, you know, we're going to have to do a part 2 of this.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to be able to get through every single thing tonight because I know, but look, I want to ask, right? So E, have you went to any of the OGs, maybe shot them a message or whatever and say, yo, like, let's work? No.
Any experience I've had with any of the OGs, it was just off natural communication. And you know, there's been OGs that I've had like hit me like RL. It's been super cool. I didn't even know he was familiar with my music. We on ClubHouse talking. He's like, yo, listen, man, I know your shit. Like, and we were in like deep debate. So when he did that, I was like, oh shit. And we had like a great conversation after. Troy Taylor, someone who showed love. You know, certain people who are, it's been natural. It's been a natural thing. They recognize a certain level of talent. I've always given them their respect. And we built on that. But I don't really look to maintain relationships or seek those relationships. I feel like it should just naturally happen out of respect for the craft. And I sometimes don't even like calling niggas OGs, to be honest. Or, you know, you just happen to be older than me. But at the end of the day, we both but in respects, we both in this game, we both have a certain level of talent and we both respect it. And that should be it. We're brothers in this. We don't gotta be older brother, little brother. We're brothers in this craft. And the main thing that we focusing on is pushing this shit forward. And you know, if I meet a little kid, 12 years old in the street, and he's vocally dope and does great R&B, he don't have to look at me as an OG or a competitor just to get any type of love from me. Like, I'm gonna show you love no matter what, because I know you're gonna help push the genre forward.
Yeah,
word.
Lito, did you know that RL wrote a song on Brother's album?
Which one? Because let me tell you,
Make You Love It. Make You Love It. The last song that produced by Jazzy Faye. RL wrote it. And Neo wrote 3 songs on there too. So I mean,
Neo. That's another one.
Salute to Neo.
Yeah, Neo. Hey, you can't sleep on his catalog. That boy's pen is crazy. No. I mean, he gave us 3.
What about him and Trey Songz?
Woo! There it is, right there.
I think Neo smokes Trey Songz.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, he smokes him.
Hey, he's got hits, bro. I mean, Neo. He came in 06 with In My Own Words, and bruh. That album, I mean, he didn't have no stinkers on there. And nope. Sexy Love is everybody's favorite record. That was the 4th single.
Yeah, and So Sick.
#1.
Yeah, the dope thing about Neo is when you start analyzing people like him and you know, the baby faces and, you know, guys that pen-wise are amazing and also had great artist careers, they never overdid anything. Even his writing, even his vocal, like, because Neo can sing, he can hold the note, he can do it, but he's not riffing all over the place. He's not. He's to his core. He's R&B, like even back in the days, 60s, 70s. Those guys, you know, most of them coming from the church, they can do all that.
Yeah.
But they understood the art and simplicity sometimes, and not having to overdo things and overwrite and you know, Neo's color with his background sometimes lend more than a riff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Neo, hey, let me tell you, I have so much respect for Neo as an artist, as a songwriter, that when the songs that he wrote for us, I forgot the particular song we were doing, but his vocal on it, he did some runs at the end of it, and they weren't that spectacular because he's, like you said, like he can sing, but he's not spectacular with the runs.
Set it off, set it off, or just be.
It might have been set it off, and but he knows I can go. So while I was in there, he was like,
to go down.
I think it might have been that. Did I do some riffs at the end of that, Grady? Or was that Cheyenne?
No, you were riffing at the end to set it off.
So I don't remember. It might have been that song, but I just say that to say he told me I could go off and do it. I had practiced the demo, how he did it on the demo, and I got so much respect for him. Excuse me, I'm spitting and shit. That I did it exactly like Neo. I was like, fuck that, man, because of the simplicity aspect of it. His backgrounds and the riffing was so perfect. I'm like, why would I do anything more than perfect?
Hey, to both of you guys' point, that's so interesting. I'm sure you guys can agree that Avery Wilson is one of the coldest in the young generation. He is. I've never heard. He sings probably better than anybody I've ever heard. He's 27 years old, but he doesn't have a deal. Not that you need a deal, and he can't get on. Like you would think, a good-looking young guy who can sing like that would be on. He's not on. I wonder why.
Avery Wilson is I had this conversation earlier with someone, and Avery Wilson is an interesting study for me. I know why. I know why he probably isn't where R&B would put him. It's a lot of different deciding factors. Some person's music, but my biggest thing is there's no relatability when it comes to the music.
There you go.
And not just because, you're not talking about things that other men or other people want to enjoy, but the things that you're doing on a record, I can't sing back. I can't do to myself. Like the audience be able to, if not even relate to the topic, at least be able to relate to what's happening and be able to mimic and sing it back. And we can't do that. If every other line you riffing all over the place, running is, you start to get lost. So I think he's an amazing vocalist. Him, Luke James is another one I think is just like,
Luke James.
He's a problem.
We sing next to a nigga that I don't think nobody's fucking with, Gavin Roan. He sings with us every Saturday at our weddings. This nigga that used to be the lead singer of Third Story. That nigga, cold.
Kevin Ross is another dude.
Yes.
He's
super
really
dope.
good.
But
he worked with Troy Taylor, right?
Yeah, really, really dope guys. I just think it's there's no spotlight put on them because it's R&B's in the weird spaces, and Lucky Day is now starting to break into that mainstream.
What do y'all really feel about him? For real. I didn't like him at first, and then I warmed up to him. My daughter loves him.
His album is incredible, bro.
Is it?
I like
Candy Drip.
I like his album.
Incredible.
He's working with D Miles. D Miles got him up there sounding great. I just don't like his stylist. I want him to fire his stylist. Outside of that, listen, R&B, like that plays. I don't think people understand that plays a lot into maintaining a certain level of R&B shit. Like, nigga, I don't want to see you dressed up there looking like weirdo shit. R&B was never no weirdo shit. Like we was always
you're right.
Cool. Yeah, like it's a little weird to me. And that's your style, cool. But when I'm talking about pushing this shit forward to what it was and getting back to the man shit, the machismo shit, women swooning and throwing the panties on the stage.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, your panties on the stage. You got what I need.
Yeah.
Hey,
boy.
He has a couple of songs. One, he flipped Love Shoulda Brought You Home by Tony. It's called Shoulda. Faces on that. And he flipped Music Soul Child's Have Crazy on his
Music Soul Child is one of my top artists.
Me too.
I love Music Soul Child.
He's crazy. He's underrated.
He also flipped the Earth, Wind, and Fire joint.
Can't Hide Love. Yeah. He's got something.
So he's dope. I just want him to fire his stylist. And then
niggas gotta dress right.
Right. That's
For
right.
real. Like niggas don't say that's the thing. Niggas don't know how to sing to the women no more. Niggas don't know how to dress.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you gotta be a thug, and you gotta have somebody that rap on your song that's it's like super taking off.
You either gotta be a thug or a weirdo at this point.
Goodness gracious. That's why the ladies are killing the brothers in the R&B lane. Because everything y'all just said. Because Jasmine, she just won Best R&B Album at the Grammys, my dudes.
Yeah.
She's right there at the forefront. And she is a problem.
A problem. How y'all feel about well, I ain't gonna ask y'all that question.
Why not? Go ahead.
I gotta ask y'all that question. Well, I mean, cause okay. I was supposed to have like 3 other guys on here. 2 of them flaked on some they former group members and didn't, I don't know if it was, they may have some, some stuff going on still, so they didn't want to come. But having them on here would have been super dope.
Who?
Brian Angel.
Oh, from Day 26.
And Robert Curry.
Okay, that's my guy.
Very talented guy.
Rob the homie. Me and Rob got the same birthday. We talk all the time, but.
Did you guys know, Lito and E, that their song "Since You've Been Gone" was a brother song first?
Really? That's one.
Y'all didn't know that?
Listen, their first album to me was fire, and that's one of my favorite songs. That's dope.
Bruh.
That's
this is a true story. Brian Michael Cox produced it. Adonis Shropshire wrote it. Me and Anthony were going through divorces at the time, so we were in the studio, and Adonis gave us the harmonies, and we really delivered it because it was emotionally accurate. And we thought we had one. I'm like, and Shakir Stewart, R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Def Jam executive who signed us. He said, I don't really want y'all coming in singing no sap song about a girl leaving you. And we were like, man, this is we were in the studio crying. Like, me and Ed had tears in our eyes. And he's like, what, crying? Literally crying? Like tears? I'm like, yeah. It was such a powerful record for us.
Yeah.
And Shakir just didn't, we ended up getting She's Gone, which was better for us. So Brian Michael Cox and Adonis Shropshire gave them our demo, and they followed it. They told us, man, we followed y'all's harmonies and your riffs to the T.
That's dope.
Wow.
That's dope. Yeah, Brian is
made it. Brian is a hit.
Brian is super dope. Rob is super dope. That group vocally.
Brian, we're singing your parts, Ant.
Shout out to them, man. I love them guys. They
Shout
were
out.
cool. We met them.
I feel like I hate that,
Love.
you know what I'm saying? There's always that stigma with groups like the greatest groups, like they can't all stay together, man. And first album, like you said, that first album was,
fire.
Crazy. That first album was
it opened
crazy.
at #1 too.
Yeah, and Brian was a big reason. He was a big part of that. And sure. I don't know if they're, like I said, I don't know if they've talked yet, but last time I talked to Rob, which was on my pod, he was saying they hadn't spoken to Brian. And every time I talk to Brian, he's like, yeah, I want to do the pod, but like, it's like he's apprehensive because he may think that I'm gonna talk. I don't want to talk to you about none of that old beef stuff.
I think the thing about that is all those guys came into the game solo acts, right? So to adapt and change your mind, because you have a vision for yourself. Brian most likely walked into the game with the vision of, I'm going to make it. Me, Brian Angel, and you get the opportunity that you get to get on in the game, and you take it, and you feel like you've taken it as far as you can. There's probably no amount of business, there's no amount of money right now that's going to suffice you now not living out your full potential, your full truth. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with continuing the group.
Yeah.
But I just think it's hard to force something in that space, especially when, I'm pretty sure they've had their business dealings not always go the way that they wanted to. You're splitting up money with 4 other people.
Yeah. On top of that, the show that was on, the MTV show that had them all crazy.
It's sometimes easier to just rely on yourself to deliver than to have to worry about 4 other people doing the same. It's no competitions about directions. So
and Brian's still dropping some of that.
Yeah.
And y'all were on BET. I remember that. I remember watching that.
Yeah. People always talking about Brother versus Day 26, but our journeys were very different. They came in obviously with a music competition show on MTV, and they were picked to be in a group, whereas we were all actually brothers on our side. But there was nothing but mutual respect from us to them and back and forth.
Can I ask you guys? Sorry to cut you off. Can I ask you guys something? What was that dynamic for y'all as brothers? Because I know you grew up together singing. I know, It's a family unit. But what was the hardest thing about you guys being in a group?
Go ahead, Ant.
You know what? At the time that we were in the group, now in hindsight, when I think about the moments that we had, none of it seemed, no one thing seemed harder than the other for some reason. It was just, it was an experience. It was wonderful. But now that I look back on it, it's that thing. Remember how you said, what did you say? You said you was going to bring it back to
Ego.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Time to bring it back, brother. Ego.
On our reality show, Brothers to Brother in 2008, people would always say, y'all fight and cry too much. It's just like Anthony Mason. And people would always say, y'all always fighting. And brothers fight. Me and they've been fighting our whole life. We fight, we make up. And so
nothing changed. Me and Grady been fighting like that before the cameras got there. That was nothing.
Exactly. Right. So when you got five different personalities, even though we're all blood brothers, people have opinions, and you know, it was, I'm the oldest, then Ant, Jared's in the middle, and then Cheyenne, and then Jacob. So the very brotherly bond that we had, we were always singing, he's my brother and I love him like myself. But people seem like they like to see us fight and they like to see the drama. Now, that was the beginning of the reality show era. You got to understand, the Kardashians been on TV for like 15 years, bruh. Yeah. So when we were on in 08, it was five brothers who want to sing and who want to make it. And so I think the most difficult thing, we didn't understand it in right when it was happening, but it takes hard work to stay together and be on the same mental level. Like I went and saw New Edition this year. Them brothers are still doing it, man. All six of them. And I couldn't help but think about my brothers because, you know, we didn't stay together. Unfortunately, people always come up and say, y'all brothers, we had Rick Ross and Twist on our second album on Vacancy. It never came out, but people are like, y'all brothers, y'all can't work it out? But it's easier said than done. Yeah. And I looked at that stage, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Ralph, and Johnny still doing it almost 40 years later. It's a blessing, brother. And it's really, really hard to stay together. I see why you're a solo artist, bro. You ain't got to depend on nobody else.
Salute to any group, black or white, in the industry that has been together for more than 10, 20, 30 years and is still doing it. Fucking salute.
Yeah.
Salute.
Word. You ever thought about being in a group?
I was in a group in high school.
Yeah.
And I hated every fucking moment of it. I hated it, and not because I didn't love the guys that I was working with, but because we all just had different ideas of, you know, what we wanted to do. We were all young, so as far as negotiating, we didn't have that concept really locked in yet. And it was probably most troubling because I had to condition myself to put the ego to the side, because I was always used to being the one guy on stage reaping all the benefit of the entertainment that I put out. It was all the adulation came to me, and I enjoyed that. Like, you know, that's a high. You know, I don't do drugs. I don't have any other issues, but my high has been getting on that stage and watching a crowd be entertained.
Hey, speaking of adulation, I just want to let you know, I just copped your joint, brother.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you.
I gotta buy it too. Hold up.
Thank you, man.
Who is that beautiful lady on the cover with them eyes?
She will go nameless, but she's a cool young lady out here. Her name is Jackie. She's out here from New York. Talented young lady. And you know, just happened to be available to shoot a picture.
I think it was very creative of you just to have her eyes and nothing else. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it was. This is the first. So I haven't put out music in 5 years prior to this. So I took a very long break. I had all the troubles going on in the world, personal music things, and this is one of the first records I did around that time of trying to get back into the mode. And even now, I'm still finding my way back into it. Like I'm still, getting back on the bike, and not on the music aspect, just in the promotion and all those other things. 5 years ago, everything was totally different. Now I'm like, I'm not even fighting the audience, I'm fighting the algorithm. So everything is just totally different for me. So I'm just now getting back to a space of just enjoying the music that I'm putting out and just letting that be what it is. And
good for you, brother.
It's been a very, very troubling time for me as far as just getting back into that mode. And I finally got back to it and I'm enjoying it. I don't have any expectations of these songs. I'm put them out, put them to the world, put my energy into it. Those who love it, love it. Those who don't, it is what it is.
Well, you got my support.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sure. I always support E, for real. I always support all of y'all, for real. E, I had that same issue with being in the group. When I was in 4th grade, I did a talent show and I was dancing I did Candy Rain and everybody loved me instead of my homies. So I had that same issue. So I couldn't be in no R&B group either, bro. But
I would probably try it today though.
Yeah. If I can sing like y'all, I can hold a tone, but I can't sing like y'all. Like
I think a nice male, I think a nice male R&B group would be really refreshing today.
Me too.
Absolutely. Goodness gracious, man.
Yeah, you're right. There's not any.
We need it. No, it's just solo artists and every other genre of music winning and Tank says this a lot too. He says, why do people always put me on the adult contemporary chart? I think when we got to it got maybe top 40 on the pop chart, but he's always a champion for R&B. Mm-hmm. And he back in 2014 when he put out his Stronger album, he went on Instagram and he said, man, I'm retiring. This, all the pop artists get all of the accolades and the spins and the streams, and the R&B artists are just underappreciated and pushed to the back burner. And that seems like the narrative for male artists. I mean, the ladies are killing it, but
yeah, because it gets frustrating when you're consistently saying, a group of people say, "Oh my God, we want that R&B that we fell in love with back," and then you have people who's actually delivering it who's not getting the support. So it's like, okay, right. Do you really want it back? Because it's there.
It's a dichotomy. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, a lot of times when I hear people say that, don't tell me, oh, well, you don't know about this. You can do your research. You can find out. There's enough streaming sites. There's enough playlists to go find who the new R&B acts are, because there are people out there who are still doing to its core R&B and who are really good. So
there's still R&B. So to answer your question, what is the state of R&B? There's still plenty of R&B out there. If you're tapped in to not just the industry and the top 10 and everybody that's famous, there's plenty of guys out there. Yes. Plenty of people.
Word.
Yeah. Well, and I'll ask you guys this last question. It seems like he's never coming home. Would you guys still categorize him as the king of R&B with his whole body of work?
I would secretly in my heart, but probably never out loud.
Publicly?
Yeah, never out loud. Yeah. I just said it out loud too.
Hey, listen, that nasty nigga the king.
He's the king.
I agree.
I wish we can get a new one.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Real quick before we wrap it up. Top 5 favorite R&B artists of all time.
Male and female?
You can mix it, yeah.
Okay.
Or whoever want to go first.
Y'all can start.
Go ahead, E. Oh, okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd have to say this man right here, Sam Cooke. Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, Whitney Houston.
Okay. I'm gonna preface this by saying I don't put Michael Jackson in R&B. So
okay.
If we did add him, he's my number one for anything. But I'm gonna keep this R&B. Donny Hathaway.
Hey.
Stevie Wonder. The nasty nigga in jail. It is what it is. Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna preface this also. I would put Prince, but I don't put him as R&B either. He's another world to me.
Mm-hmm.
My last one is probably going to be Babyface.
Hey, still doing it too.
Yeah.
And all the pressure's on you, Tim.
It's nothing nobody hasn't said. I mean, I gotta go Michael, Stevie, Joe.
Mm.
As far as R&B.
Joe is in your top
Joe
five?
is my favorite vocalist, R&B vocalist male of all time. Male. Ain't nobody fucking with Joe. He's like ahead by a good amount.
Lito,
Joe is that nigga to me.
You gotta go listen to some Joe.
I'm just fucking with Joe. I know Joe.
Michael, Stevie, Joe, Whitney, and R. Kelly.
Lito, what about you?
In no particular order. Music Soul Child. Luther.
Ooh.
Damn, we should have did groups too, but that's all right. I say Music Soul Child, Luther. Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese.
I knew you.
Nice. All right.
And Kales. I'll say Kelly. Yeah, Kales.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese the nigga.
Hey, you know what's interesting about him is to hear Tank talk about why there may never be another TGT album. They came together and made a classic album.
Ego.
And there you go. You brought it back. Like they made such a phenomenal album in 2013, and they asked Tank and Jay Valentine, "You think it'll ever happen again?" No.
Nope.
I think Tyrese cares more about his movie sales.
Yeah.
Right.
His movie tickets.
Right. And Tank always says, Genuine got more hits than both of us put together, and he's not the one with the ego.
And
Go figure.
And he does. And G 100% deserves a little more flowers.
Yes.
I have a genuine theory of who he really should be in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I think Genuine is supposed to be Justin Timberlake. When I start to go down the path that Timberland took with Justin Timberlake and the records he gave him, it's all genuine shit.
Never heard that perspective. That's
all genuine shit.
Very accurate, E.
But we get back to the Elvis.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
absolutely.
It's a little easier to sell on this little white boy that just came from this.
Right.
I wonder what G talk about that. I might have to see it when we do this again.
You should, because that's a great point, E, because you cannot tell me that 2020 album in 2013 wasn't full on R&B from Timberland to Timberlake.
All
the way R&B.
Justin's very first album, Justified, is to me, it's a genuine album.
Yeah.
Man, that's deep. Wow.
Why he didn't get those records. That's crazy.
You know why.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, you already know.
Right.
That's supposed to be,
Yeah. Supposed to be, right?
Hey, so I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna wait till we get off because I don't want people that hate me and like talk shit about me after this.
I love how controversial you are, E.
I have something I want to ask you guys, and I know it's blasphemous, but I'm gonna ask y'all when we let. So just remind me to ask that when we get off.
We're about to get off now. Listen.
All right, good.
There's gonna be a part 2 of this with more people.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot more to talk about. This was great. I want to thank y'all for coming on. You know what I'm saying? Great.
Our pleasure, brother.
With your presence. And part 2's coming. This Happy Hour with Lito, and we are out.
Glasses in the air. Toast to a higher power. Cause what you tuning into right now is Lito's Happy Hour. Lito's Happy Hour, this is where it's at. Raw and uncut, we giving real facts. Educating, entertaining all the people. And when it come to podcasts, it ain't nothing equal. Giving people knowledge they can put in action. All the way authentic, we ain't never capping. Exclusive interviews, cause we ain't never lacking. The other statements talking and we bout the action. Glasses in the air. Toast to a higher power. This is Lito's happy hour.